Today we tackle the question of why do affairs happen? Hi, my name is Lee Balcom and I'm the Internet's leading marriage expert. It's a tough question we're tackling today, so let's talk first about the fact, is an affair threatening your marriage? Just a few statistics. The latest research shows that 25% of marriages suffer infidelity. That would be a physical affair. 1/4 of marriages suffer a physical affair, but the rate of an emotional affair is much higher. Now, the definition of an affair in my mind is a pretty central part because you can get into an argument with somebody about what that constitutes. And given what's happened in culture, and presidential behavior included, it's really muddied the waters on what we consider to be an affair. First of all, for me, a physical affair is sexual activity with someone who is in a committed, monogamous relationship. In other words, it's somebody who's in a monogamous relationship, a marriage, acting out with somebody else outside of that marriage in a sexual way. What that includes, if it's physical, I'm putting in it as a physical affair. However, there is that definition of an emotional affair. And that's an emotional sharing that is inappropriate between two people because of a monogamous relationship. In other words, I should be sharing something with my spouse, and I'm sharing it with somebody else, and particularly somebody else of the opposite sex. And so there are connections and deeper growing feelings that accompany that often include romantic feelings that may not be acted upon in a physical way, but still continue to be a part of their fantasy life and basically overtakes their emotional life. Now you ask a question, why is this a problem? In fact, if you're watching this, you may not be asking that question, but you need to think about why it is a problem. It's because it takes energy away from the appropriate relationship and puts it toward an inappropriate relationship. It's siphoning off energy that should be in one relationship and puts it into another one. It threatens the sense of safety and security that should be a part of a monogamous relationship. A marriage is built on the fact that there is safety and security there because we've chosen to be together, and the very underpinnings of this is torn apart by an affair. And then finally, the secrecy eats away at the trust that's necessary for monogamous relationships to thrive. That secrecy of the affair that really helps power it and keep it going just eats away at any trust because lie after lie has to be told in order to keep that secrecy going. Unfortunately, we're surrounded by it in culture, and songs, stories, movies, even the news seems to make infidelity a normal part of life, and that's the problem. We forget that it's not normal, it's abnormal, it's not appropriate. Culture almost gives a stamp of approval to cheating, though, and we have to be careful of that because the more we hear those messages, the easier it is for us to discount the impact of that, especially if we're the one who is the one who's acting out, because whenever we're trying to act out, we're trying to justify our behavior, and culture sometimes gives us that excuse. Now, affairs are referred to as a crime of opportunity. In other words, they don't just happen. Somebody has to be in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, depending on how you look at it, but they have to be in the right situation for it to happen. It just doesn't happen. It needs the opportunity. Now, when people are asked why they acted out, why they had an affair, the top reason they give to justify it is sex. Understand, though, it's not just sex, though. It's about feeling wanted and desired. And I say that because those tend to be a major complaint about what's missing in marriage, the feelings of being wanted, being desired, and often because of the busyness of life and of raising kids and all those different issues, we lose touch with that piece of our relationship, and unfortunately, that ends up putting us at risk for acting out, certainly with affairs. And so part of what you need to understand is what causes an affair. This is it. It's a lack of feeling wanted and desired. That doesn't mean the feeling is not there, that someone doesn't feel it for another person, but that person is not feeling it. They're not experiencing that feeling coming from the other person, and that's the problem. That ends up being what often drives an affair. The fact that somebody is showing me attention, somebody is showing that they want me, they desire me, and I'm not feeling it anywhere else, and so we end up being vulnerable when that goes missing in our marriage. Now, if you want to learn more about saving your marriage, if you want to take my free email course and find other resources, go now to www.savethemarriage.com. Continue watching this video series, but please go now to www.savethemarriage.com and find what can be done to save your marriage.